Hello, everyone. Born in 1847 in the small town of Milan, Ohio, this individual faced a challenging start in life. He was the seventh and youngest child in his family, and his early years were marked by frequent moves due to his father's work. The family eventually settled in Port Huron, Michigan, where he spent most of his childhood. From a young age, he demonstrated a keen interest in how things worked, often taking apart household items to understand their mechanics. However, his formal education was a struggle. He had difficulty grasping lessons in traditional classrooms, and his teachers considered him too slow to learn. This led to frustration and a lack of enthusiasm for school. Despite this, he never lost his curiosity and his passion for exploration. Recognizing his potential, his mother, who was a former school teacher, took matters into her own hands. She began homeschooling him, providing a more personalized and nurturing learning environment. She encouraged his interest in books and scientific experiments, fostering his natural talents. This unconventional education helped to shape the young inventor's creative mindset, and it was in this period that he began developing a deep love for science and discovery. Rather than pursuing academic subjects in a conventional way, he focused on practical knowledge and hands-on learning, exploring everything from chemistry to mechanics. By the time he was a teenager, his inventive spirit was well established, and he had already begun to see the world not just as it was, but as something that could be understood and changed through innovation. At the age of 21, this individual had already begun to make his mark as an inventor. His first notable invention was an improved version of a device that would revolutionize the way people communicated. While working as a telegraph operator, he noticed that there were many inefficiencies in the telegraph systems at the time, which were largely manual and prone to error. Determined to find a solution, he devised a new telegraph repeater that could automatically transmit messages without requiring manual intervention. The invention allowed for faster and more accurate transmission of messages over long distances, a breakthrough for the telegraph industry. His ability to improve the existing technology garnered attention, and he was soon able to sell the patent for this invention to a company, which led to his first major financial success. The income from the sale enabled him to continue his work, giving him the freedom to pursue further ideas and innovations. This success marked the beginning of his career as an inventor and entrepreneur. His work on telegraphy provided him with the financial stability and confidence needed to move on to even more ambitious projects. The skills and knowledge he gained during this period also became foundational for many of his later inventions, as the world of electrical communication would remain at the core of his career for years to come. During his time in the telegraph industry, this individual gained invaluable experience that would prove to be essential for many of his later groundbreaking inventions. In the early stages of his career, he worked as a telegraph operator, which was one of the most prestigious and well-paying jobs available to someone with his technical skills at the time. His work involved sending and receiving telegrams, but it also gave him exposure to the inner workings of telegraph systems. It was through this role that he recognized many opportunities for improvement within the telegraphy field. He became particularly focused on how to increase the speed and accuracy of message transmission. His sharp mind and relentless drive to solve problems led him to develop various devices and techniques that would enhance the telegraph system. One of his key contributions during this time was the development of a multiplex telegraph system, which allowed multiple messages to be sent simultaneously over a single wire, greatly improving the efficiency of communication. His expertise in the field also led him to travel and work in various cities across the United States, where he was frequently hired by telegraph companies to solve problems and optimize their systems. His innovative solutions and ability to refine existing technology quickly earned him a reputation as a skilled inventor even while he was still relatively young. It was during this period that he not only built on his technical knowledge, but also developed an entrepreneurial mindset. Working with different telegraph companies exposed him to the business side of technology, which would later prove essential when it came to financing and marketing his future inventions. His work in the telegraph industry laid a solid foundation for his later success, as it provided both the practical experience and the financial backing necessary to fund his subsequent ventures into electrical engineering and other fields of innovation. The development of the practical incandescent light bulb is one of the most significant milestones in this individual's career and in the history of modern technology. By the late 1870s, electric lighting was still a relatively new concept, and previous attempts to create a long-lasting light source had failed. While arc lights existed, they were impractical for everyday use due to their brightness and the challenges of controlling them. Determined to create a safer, more reliable lighting source for homes and businesses, he focused on developing a practical light bulb that could burn for many hours without burning out quickly. After experimenting with various materials for the filament, he eventually discovered that carbonized bamboo could burn longer than other substances. His design incorporated a vacuum inside the bulb, which helped prevent the filament from burning up too quickly. In 1879, after extensive trial and error, he successfully created a bulb that lasted for over 1,200 hours. This marked a major breakthrough in lighting technology. It wasn't just about creating light. It was about creating a durable, cost-effective, and reliable light source that could be used on a wide scale. With this innovation, he essentially laid the groundwork for the widespread use of electric lighting, a technology that would change the way people lived, worked, and interacted with their environment. However, the light bulb alone wasn't enough. To make electric lighting practical for homes and cities, a reliable system for generating and distributing electricity was also required. This led him to establish the first electric power station in 1882 in New York City, which was the beginning of what would become the modern electric power industry. This station, known as the Pearl Street Station, provided direct current, DC, electricity to customers in the area, marking the first time that electricity was available on a large scale for lighting and other applications. His work in electric power distribution didn't just change the way homes were illuminated, it paved the way for an entire industry dedicated to the generation and distribution of electricity, something that would become central to modern life. This system was soon adopted by other cities, and he continued to refine the technology, ultimately forming a company that would play a major role in the development of the electrical infrastructure that powers the world today. While the light bulb itself became his signature invention, the creation of an electric power system to support it was just as revolutionary. This dual achievement transformed industries, daily life, and even the economy, helping usher in the age of electricity that continues to power our world. In 1877, this individual achieved another remarkable feat that would leave a lasting impact on the world. He invented the phonograph, a device capable of recording and reproducing sound. At the time, sound recording was a completely unexplored field, and the ability to capture and play back sounds seemed like something out of science fiction. His motivation for this invention came from his curiosity about sound waves and his desire to improve existing technologies used in communication, particularly the telegraph and the telephone. The idea of the phonograph emerged quite serendipitously. While working on improvements to the telegraph and telephone, he experimented with ways to record and reproduce electrical signals. He realized that it might be possible to use a needle to etch grooves into a rotating cylinder, with the vibrations from sound waves causing the needle to move. This would create a mechanical representation of sound. After much trial and error, he managed to develop a working prototype, a tinfoil covered cylinder with grooves that would vibrate when a needle passed over them. When he played back his first recorded sound, it was a breakthrough moment. He had successfully recorded a voice and played it back. The first words ever recorded were, "Mary had a little lamb." The significance of this invention was immediate. For the first time in history, people could listen to sounds that had been recorded, essentially preserving voices, music, and sounds for future generations. He patented the phonograph in 1878 and began showcasing the device to the public. Although it was initially seen as more of a novelty or a curiosity, the phonograph caught the attention of the entertainment and music industries, and its potential was soon recognized. He even experimented with the idea of using the phonograph for dictation, recording voice memos, and other applications beyond music. The invention of the phonograph had far-reaching implications. It laid the foundation for the modern music industry, making it possible to record and reproduce music. Over time, improvements were made to the phonograph's design, including the development of the flat disc record, which would later become the standard for recorded music. It also set the stage for innovations in sound technology, such as radio, television, and film. While the phonograph was initially a product of his inventive mind, driven by curiosity, it quickly became one of his most commercially successful inventions. It marked the beginning of a new era in entertainment and communication, with a profound cultural and societal impact that is still felt today. Through this invention, he forever changed the way people interacted with sound, music, and media. Throughout his career, this individual became embroiled in several intense rivalries and controversies, one of the most famous being his battle with Nikola Tesla over the future of electrical power distribution. This clash, often referred to as the War of Currents, played out not only in technical circles but also in the media, shaping the future of electricity and leading to heated debates about which system, direct current, DC, or alternating current, AC, would ultimately dominate. Tesla, a brilliant inventor and former employee of his, advocated for alternating current, AC, which had distinct advantages over direct current. AC could be transmitted over long distances more efficiently and was more cost-efficient with DC, which struggled with power loss over extended distances. Tesla's system, which he had developed while working with George Westinghouse, offered the promise of a more scalable and sustainable electrical grid. However, this individual's DC system, which he had pioneered and promoted for years, had already been established in major cities, making him deeply invested in defending it. The rivalry between the two escalated as this individual, staunchly supporting DC, began a public campaign to discredit AC, fearing the implications of losing control over the electric power market. He went so far as to stage public demonstrations designed to showcase the dangers of alternating current. In one infamous instance, he orchestrated the electrocution of an elephant named Topsy to illustrate the supposed dangers of AC, a spectacle that horrified many but did little to sway public opinion in his favor. At the heart of this controversy was the financial and technological battle over the future of electrical power. The conflict reached its peak in the 1893 World's Columbian Exposition in Chicago, where both DC and AC systems were showcased to the public. Tesla and Westinghouse won the opportunity to power the exposition using AC, effectively demonstrating its viability on a grand scale. This success was a turning point in the War of Currents and ultimately led to the widespread adoption of AC for electrical power transmission. Despite this loss, the controversy surrounding AC and DC revealed the intense competition in the emerging electrical industry, where business, politics, and scientific innovation collided. This individual, though defeated in this particular rivalry, continued to make important contributions to the field of electrical engineering, including pioneering work in electric power generation. Even if he could no longer prevent the dominance of AC. Beyond a war of currents, he also had other notable controversies, especially in his business practices. He was known for his aggressive legal tactics, frequently engaging in patent disputes with rivals, sometimes pushing the boundaries of ethical conduct. One such case involved a bitter legal battle with an inventor named George Westinghouse, who had worked to develop AC. Their dispute over patents and royalties further fueled tensions in the industry and made for a contentious atmosphere in the world of innovation. Moreover, as he became more of a businessman and industrialist, his focus shifted towards protecting his own financial interests and intellectual property. He held numerous patents, many of which he defended fiercely in court, sometimes accusing others of stealing or infringing on his inventions. His intense desire to maintain control over his ideas often led to friction with colleagues, partners, and competitors alike. Despite these rivalries and controversies, his ability to innovate remained undeniable. Even though the war of currents ultimately resulted in AC being the dominant system for electrical power distribution, his contributions to the world of science and technology remained legendary. His legacy is a complex one, shaped not just by his remarkable inventions, but also by the fierce competition and sometimes ruthless business practices that accompanied them. In his later years, this individual continued to innovate, though much of his attention shifted towards a broader range of technological fields. By the time he reached his 60s, he had already established himself as one of the most well-known and influential inventors of his time, with over 1,000 patents to his name. However, rather than slowing down, he remained deeply engaged in scientific exploration and business ventures, striving to push the boundaries of technology even further. One of his notable pursuits in his later years was the development of a more efficient storage battery. He focused on creating a better, longer-lasting battery to support emerging technologies, particularly electric cars. Though his efforts in this area did not lead to immediate success, they laid the groundwork for future developments in battery technology, which would eventually become critical in fields like renewable energy and electric vehicles. He also made attempts to improve the technology used in motion pictures, working on early sound film technology and refining the film camera. Despite his continued work, the invention of the light bulb and the phonograph had already secured his place in history, and much of his later work took place against a backdrop of his earlier triumphs. However, his business ventures, particularly with his electric company, began to face significant financial difficulties. The rise of alternating current, AC, and the decline of his direct current, DC, system, which he had so passionately defended earlier, meant that some of his key ventures started to lose relevance in the rapidly changing technological landscape. In his personal life, his later years were marked by a series of setbacks. His first wife, Mary, passed away in 1884, and he remarried in 1886 to Mina Miller, with whom he had 3 children. Despite his personal losses, he maintained his public profile as a leading inventor and industrialist. However, he became more reclusive in his later years and less involved in the day-to-day operations of his company, delegating much of the business to his colleagues. By the time he passed away in 1931, at the age of 84, he had already left an indelible mark on the world. His contributions to the development of electricity, communications, and entertainment had shaped the modern world in profound ways. Beyond the practical inventions, his entrepreneurial spirit and vision for a future powered by electricity had a lasting impact on how people interacted with technology. In terms of legacy, he is often remembered not only for the technologies he pioneered, but also for the transformative way in which he approached problem solving. He was not simply an inventor, but a creator of systems and industries. His work laid the foundation for entire industries that continue to thrive today, such as electric power generation and distribution, sound recording, and motion pictures. His approach to invention was rooted in his belief that there were no limits to human ingenuity. He was driven by a relentless desire to improve the world and believed that innovation could solve humanity's greatest problems. This philosophy shaped his work and continues to inspire inventors and entrepreneurs around the globe. In recognition of his achievements, he received numerous honors, including the establishment of the Edison National Historic Site in New Jersey, now part of the National Park Service. His name is synonymous with innovation, and his story is often cited as a quintessential example of American ingenuity and determination. Though he faced numerous challenges and controversies, his legacy as one of the most influential inventors of all time remains intact. His inventions and the industries they gave rise to continue to shape modern life in profound ways. From the way we light our homes to the way we listen to music and communicate, his contributions are woven into the fabric of everyday life. His name lives on not just through his inventions, but through the countless innovations that followed in his wake, all inspired by his vision of a world transformed by technology. His journey was not without its challenges, rivalries, and controversies, but it was his relentless pursuit of progress that left a lasting legacy. From the light bulb that illuminated our homes to the phonograph that forever changed the way we experience sound, his inventions continue to shape our daily lives in ways we may not even realize. But perhaps the most remarkable aspect of his legacy is the spirit of innovation he embodied. He showed us that with vision and perseverance we can transform the impossible into the everyday, and that no problem is too big to solve if we dare to challenge the status quo. As we honor his contributions, let us remember the lessons he taught us, not just about technology, but about the power of curiosity, the courage to innovate, and the belief that one person can change the world. Thank you.